why cutting toxic people out of your life is stunting your spiritual growth. Now, if you're in an abusive relationship, of course, you got to get out of there. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, you're attracting a narcissist. And so you're going to have to deal with whatever it is that's going on inside of you that's attracting you to narcissists, because once you get away from this narcissist, you're going to go and find yourself another one. And that's what we do. If we find ourselves with a narcissist, that means we've always had a narcissist in our life who's always treated us like that, and we always believe that we need to be treated that way, or we deserve to be treated that way. And we're attracted to that situation and to that energy. And we'll continue to be attracted to that energy until we clean up what's underlying. And what it is, it's part of our shadow, and our shadow wants us to deal with that aspect of ourselves. And once we deal with that aspect, and then we release that energy, and the people that were narcissistic to us magically quit being narcissistic to us anymore. It's funny because our relationships are all a reflection of our own inner self. And this comes from Carl Jung, and he told us about the shadow. He's the guy that came up with the shadow self and shadow work. And so when you're doing the shadow work, the shadow is, all perception is a projection. We can't see our unconscious behavior. Most of our behavior happens at the unconscious level. We're unaware of it consciously. So we don't know it. We might be angry and yelling. We don't even know we're angry and yelling. We're not that aware of what's going on. A lot of us are disconnected from our emotions, and we don't know which emotions that we're feeling or which ones we're displaying in public. It gets really confusing. I used to not be in control. Other people could push my buttons, and I'd be reacting and saying and doing stupid stuff because that's all I could do. I was protecting myself. And so as I learn stuff about myself, then those things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. And they only bother me. The things that bother me, the thing that bothered me, the person who represents me the most is the person whose behavior that I like the least. That represents me. And that represents everybody. So the person that you don't like, their behavior represents your behavior. And it's in your shadow. And when you see your own behavior reflected back at you, you don't like it. And that's when you get angry with that kind of stuff. But everybody else has to put up with you behaving that way. And that's why people seem so hypocritical all the time, is because they don't realize it's their behavior. And they're always pointing that behavior out in other people. And yeah, that's really the way it works. So when you cut these people out of your life, then you, now if you separate from them and you get away from them and you deal with them less often, then you're good. But if you completely cut them out of your life, then you're never going to get the opportunity to test, right? Like, so if it's a parent, right? So if you test, you go around them and then you have no triggers anymore, then you know your work is done. And then you'll be able to see them in a totally different light and understand them in a totally different way. And your relationship with yourself changes, and it reflects a different relationship with the people that you have in your life. So if you cut out all these toxic people from your life, and I got some people that are toxic people that are, they're blocked in that, and I'm not going to let them back in just because they're nasty and they like to take shots at me. Well, maybe I could take those blocks off and they'll be okay now. But you know what? Some people, they just don't deserve to be around you. And once you get to the point where, even if they, once you get to that point where you're okay with other people and what they do, and it doesn't bother you, and you're not judging people. Every time you judge somebody, it's saying more about you than it is them. Because that's all you can do. You can only project yourself onto them. And when you judge them, you're judging that aspect of you. And you tend to treat them the same way you treat that aspect of yourself. And that's just the way it is. And you're unaware of this behavior. We all are. It's in our unconscious or subconscious mind is doing all this stuff. And it's the one that's present the majority of the time when we're behaving. All behavior is unconscious. And you just don't know it. So we're bad judges of ourselves. We overestimate ourselves in some ways, and then we underestimate ourselves in other ways. We don't really know ourselves. And if we were to start judging ourselves, looking at other people, and understanding that the feedback we get from other people is an indicator about ourselves, understanding that they're projecting as well. But all feedback is data that helps you to navigate this world. And so if you're trying to grow spiritually, then the person that pisses you off the most is the next thing that you need to be working on. And once you deal with that, once you get that figured out, then you'll be on the next level. And by the way, QHHT, PSP, those are just a couple of modalities that I work with that quickly and efficiently help you get over that stuff and allow you to take it to the next level. So a hypnosis session with me will transform your life and let you take it to that next level. Anyways, I'm Jeff Broomfield. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, have a good one.